The Ark Emperor is gathering his forces across the multiverse. Assemble your team to stop him. The fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance. It's time to learn how to play Ark Worlds. Ark Worlds is a card game for 2 or 4 players. Today we're going to teach you how to play the skirmish mode, which is the basic mode of playing Ark Worlds. Let's start by going over the anatomy of a card. Every card has a number of attributes and statistics. In the upper left-hand corner is the class. Along the left side is the attribute bar, followed by the hero's attack value, the hero's health value, the hero's critical value. Over here on the right side, we have their dominance value. Along the bottom, we'll have a number of abilities. Some abilities will be passive. Other abilities will be active. Active abilities feature both a lane that you must be in order to activate the ability and a mana cost to activate the ability. In the top right of every ability will be the name. And what's printed in the box here is what the ability actually does. In Ark Worlds, you will have a selection of heroes across 4 different classes. To start out, we're only going to be using 3 of the classes: captains, blockers, and supports. In the base game, there are 2 pre-assembled teams for you to learn how to play with. We'll call the team featuring Rain, Anastasia, Shadow, and Hollow the blue team, and the team featuring Alexander, Hane, Titan, and Long the orange team. Take your preferred team into your hand and give the other team to your opponent. Place any mana tokens, dice, the momentum token, and all other game tokens within easy reach of both players. Decide if you'll be playing to 2 victory points or 3 victory points. That concludes setup. You're now ready to begin playing. Play starts with the laning phase. During the laning phase, you'll gain an amount of mana depending on which turn you are currently on. In a 2-point game, you'll gain 4, then 5, then 6 mana. Since it is a 2-point game, we will take 4 mana and place it into our pool. We will then take our heroes and place them face down in up to 2 lines. As you would expect, the front line is called the front line, and the back line is called the back line. You must have at least 1 hero in your front line, otherwise all combinations are valid, either 3 and 1, 2 and 2, 1 and 3, or even all 4 in the front line. After placing your heroes, both players should simultaneously reveal the heroes that they have placed. Then, resolve any passives that give immediate abilities. In this instance, Alexander's passive gives a buff to one of his allies. We'll give this to Hane. In addition, Titan's passive grants him 2 armor tokens. We're now ready to move on to the action phase. The player with the momentum token should decide if they want to go first, taking 1 action, or going second and take 2 actions. As a courtesy, you may want to give this token to the player who is least familiar with MOBA or card games. If both people feel that they are equally matched, you can simply flip the token to determine who will go first. As we move into the action phase, the player who goes first will take 1 action. The player who goes second will take 2 actions. From there on, players will alternate taking 2 actions each. When taking your actions, you may not take 2 of the same type of action with the same hero. On a player's turn, they have 4 different actions they can choose from. These actions are attack, use an ability, move, or recover stun. We'll go through how to do all of those actions now. Now we'll discuss basic attacks. You'll see that I've brought over the blue team to help me demonstrate. In order to make a basic attack, select the hero that you want to attack with and turn them 45 degrees. This is referred to as engaging the hero. You will then take an amount of damage equal to the hero's attack value and place it on a target hero. Heroes with melee damage can attack from your front line to your opponent's front line. There are only lines in Ark Worlds, so you may distribute your attack damage however you see fit across the front line. A character like Anastasia has range damage. This means that if she attacks from the back line, she can damage your opponent's front line, or if she attacks from the front line, she can damage your opponent's back line. Basic attacks may not damage from your backline to your opponent's backline. When placing attack damage, there's an important limitation. If a hero already has damage on them, then your attack may not place more damage than the health value of that hero. You will instead be forced to spread the damage to another hero, or lose it if there's no other hero to spread the damage to. After distributing damage from the basic attack, you will then roll for critical. In order to roll for critical, you will take the critical die and choose one hero that you damage with your basic attack. Your goal is to roll equal to or greater than the attacking hero's critical value. In this case, we will choose long, and we will roll the dice. Success. This means that we can place a critical damage onto the targeted hero. Note that critical damage may exceed the health value of the targeted hero. This is called overdamaging and can be very important to securing kills. There are two important things to note of basic attacks. The first is that once a hero is engaged to make a basic attack, this hero may take no more actions for the rest of the round. Second is that a hero that has damage equal to their health value or higher, and thus is in critical condition, may not be engaged to make a basic attack. There are two categories of abilities: passive abilities and active abilities. Passives activate as soon as the hero is revealed during the laning phase and are considered always on. In this example, this buff would be activated as soon as Alexander was revealed. Even if Alexander is eliminated, the buff token will continue. Likewise, if Alexander were engaged, the buff token will continue to stay. If a hero's passive ability ever deactivates, it will be specified in the card text. Active abilities have a number of different features, the first of which being which lane you have to be in to activate the ability, an amount of mana to activate the ability, a number of effects that will happen when you activate the ability name, and ability modifiers. There are 3 different lane designations for abilities. Front abilities must be activated in the front line, rear abilities must be activated in the rear line, and abilities designated as any may be activated in either the front or rear line. To activate an ability, simply place an amount of mana, as shown here, on the ability, and then resolve any effects on the ability. Abilities may only be activated once per round, so placing the mana on the ability helps you to remember which abilities you have activated this round. If an ability has more than one effect, you must resolve all effects before going on to your next action. The effects on some abilities are marked by a plus sign. In this situation, you must be able to resolve each effect in order to resolve any effect on the ability. On abilities with no plus sign, every effect can be considered optional. Some abilities feature ability modifiers, which break some of the rules that we've discussed earlier about abilities. For example, this 3x ability means that this ability may be activated 3 different times. You may activate all 3 uses of this ability in one go. This only takes 1 action and can be used for a big burst of healing. Or you may activate this on 3 different turns for 3 different actions. Anastasia's second ability here is fast. This means that you may activate a fast ability and then do a non-fast action, for example, engaging to attack, or using her non-fast healing ability. You can even activate the fast ability and then activate the healing twice for a burst of healing. Unlike basic attacks, there are no limitations on which enemy lines you can target with your abilities. See the ability reference in the user's manual for more information on ability effects. The next action you can take is movement, and as you would expect, it allows you to move lines. You can either move a hero from the front line to the back line, or a hero from the back line to the front line. It's pretty simple, with only one exception. If ever all of your heroes are on the back line, and you move your last hero from the front line to the back line, then at the end of your turn, your rear line will become your new front line. The final action that we'll discuss is stun recovery. Stun recovery lets you take a stun token and advance it once. In this case, we have a big stun, and it advances to a little stun. If we had a little stun, the token would come off. At the end of your turn, all tokens will advance, so it's not necessary to advance stun tokens, but if you want to reduce the amount of time it takes for a stun to wear off, you can utilize stun recovery. So far, we've discussed all the topics with how to take actions. Now we'll discuss briefly health and dying. In Ark Worlds, a player will never take actions on their opponent's turns. This means that a player's heroes will not be eliminated on their opponent's turns. Instead, heroes are eliminated at the end of your turn. Any hero that is in critical condition at the end of your turn will be removed. Removed heroes are returned to your hand, and 1 mana is given from the supply to your opponent. Before a hero is eliminated, you'll have the opportunity to use your actions to mitigate that damage. There are 2 primary ways of mitigating damage in Ark Worlds. The first is healing. In order to heal, activate an ability with a healing effect, and then take the damage and discard it to the supply. The other way to mitigate damage is guarding. Guarding allows you to move damage that was just dealt to you last turn from one hero to another. So in this instance, if Alexander took 4 damage last turn, Titan could use his guard ability to move 2 of the damage from the low health Alexander to the higher health Titan. In an actual game situation, Titan may have armor left, in which case the armor would reduce the damage, and then what was left would be applied to Titan. Now Alexander has been reduced below critical condition and can remain in the battle. At the end of your turn, remove any heroes who are in critical condition, returning the hero to your hand, and any tokens on the hero to the supply, and then advance any tokens that were not applied to your heroes this turn. A round of Ark Worlds will continue until one of 2 conditions has been met. Either both players have passed, taking no actions each, or one player concedes. If a player concedes, then their opponent has 1 turn to take 2 actions, and then the round will end. A game of Ark World has a natural flow to it, so as heroes are eliminated, use abilities, and engage to attack, you will eventually utilize all your options. Once both players have either passed or one player has conceded, you'll add up the dominance values of all your heroes. The player with the highest total dominance has won the round. The winning player will take 1 victory point. In the case of a tie, the player with the momentum in their favor will take the round. And that concludes the rules explanation for Ark Worlds. If you'd like to see a sample turn played, click through in the description. And if you'd like to support this game, it is live on Kickstarter now, also linked below in the description. Thank you, and as always, I've been Orion with Impossible Game Labs. Until next time, peace.